This is Justin with Golden Touch Motivational. And today we have actually a great topic, actually, we have going on here. And we also have a K business consultant as well on the line. And then I'll let you introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Q Dawkins. I am a marketing coordinator and a artist.
Okay. All right, Q. So basically, what we're going to go over is just some of the stuff, the challenges you've been through, like, how you keep yourself in a positive mindset and all that good stuff. Now, how did you get started? Like, what motivates you to actually get things going on your end?
So the motivation is you only get one life.
Okay.
All my life I've been surrounded by the arts, but as time went on, did I realize that art is therapy. So
Hmm.
because of growing up where music had more substance, I realized my passion was also a place of comfort and therapy. So even if you do not get to your destination, I focus on finding happiness and being creative or being around things that are creative. And that's pretty much my motivation, peace and happiness. Art has always been a part of my life. In all shapes and forms, it's always been a part of my life. Originally from Detroit, so I grew up in Motown, the heart of Motown. That is where I was born and raised. Um, and as I got older, I realized that the arts is not just for other people, but it's for yourself. Art is therapy. So I stay in the art world, either behind or in front of the scenes, because despite all the chaos and stuff that could be going on in your life,
Right.
there's just a sense of peace and comfort and a balance or just something healthy about just being expressive in whatever shape or form that you do it. It's just something peaceful with that. And that keeps me motivated in this particular genre, which is very diverse. And being a Libra, I stay fluid like water, just finding times to express or do work either behind or in front of the scenes, um, which you can make money off of it, but at the same time, you can find a sense of comfort and healing from it as well.
Gotcha. And what would you say? Yeah, because that's a good point. Because sometimes you have to make a decision to make a decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Einstein said, nothing starts till there is movement. You know what I mean? Just you just starting something creates, some type of momentum.
Yep.
And what would you say the main challenge was you getting it off the ground and getting it started?
Um, the main challenge is um, believing in yourself,
Hmm.
knowing yourself, knowing your voice, understanding um, just who you are. Because I feel like the more that you understand your identity and who you are as a person, the more power you have in creating things. And then, as far as on the business side,
Hmm.
I feel like there's power in being in control and knowing that you do not have to follow certain trends or different things for attention, but really on honing in on just your art is your art, and you would not compromise your creative like ideas or vision or your identity, allowing
Hmm.
media, social media to run with it and do what they want. Because sometimes things that go viral,
Hmm.
if not seeded the right way, sometimes when things go viral, they take a life of their own, and some people have to wait until it dies down before they can actually capitalize on what they build for their brand to either be respectful
Hmm.
or them as a person to be respected. Because now you have to rebrand yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's a good point because it's a constant. I always give that advice that success is a journey. It's never a destination. You know what I mean? Like you never get there. It's just now along the way, Q, did you have any? anything that kind of help you kind of switch to the next level, like a mentor or some type of guidance that you receive along the way?
Um, to be honest,
Hmm.
I can't put it on one person. I would say that I've always had people, friends who are like family to me, business oriented, who have the same goals and ideas and aspirations as me, have the same values. Um, and they have been blessings to help me find and maintain my balance at times. And then sometimes I have to, be the one to put a foot in my ass, excuse my language,
Right.
just to know
Yep.
like, okay, you got this, you got this. But it's good to have a good circle of friends who are going to speak life into you and lift you up when their doubt creeps up in you, and you start to listen to those old negative words and fears that other people may have forced on you within your family, um, their own fears of doubt, of not believing.
Right.
Um, I say you choose your if you really want something out of life, you have to constantly surround yourself around people that have self-worth values and the same visions and goals, or at least they have a focus and direction in life that they're consistent with going after, and they're actually putting in action. Even if it's not
Right.
beneficial for you, their friendship and their example is enough to inspire you to want to do and be all that you feel that you are, believing in yourself. Because at the end of the day, we do all have our own vision as far as where we want to end up and
Mhm.
purpose. Some people do things out of, needing acceptance from others, or needing to be in a certain position to feel there's some type of worth.
Mhm.
And then some people are just, oh, oh, yeah, that audio good because boy, you was drinking. I heard it. Heard every gulp.
Hey, you
But
gotta stay hydrated.
yeah, that you do. That you do.
So no, that's a
Um,
good point, Q, actually, because the reason why I mentioned that because actually, excuse me, just drinking some water. Just you got me so thirsty because I mean, like, you got me excited about that because I always talk about the relationship you create around you. You know what I mean? Because I always said relationship, relationship is like a force. It's either pulling you up or dragging you down, and there's no middle ground. So it's very important, like you were saying, to associate yourself with people who believe in your vision and everything that you do, which is a good thing. Now, along the way, now, how do you feel as far as the outside pressure? Meaning, because like you and I talked about, people do things because of the perception of others, what people think of them, and all that good stuff. How are you dealing with still being true to yourself and still deal with the outside world on how they perceive you?
um, well, what's really crazy is, and I'm going to be very, I don't know if this is, I'm very open. Uh, okay, this is a little TMI, but we're doing a podcast and we're going to be entertaining.
Hey, we're gonna keep it real. Can we keep
We're
it
going to keep it,
100?
we're going to keep it 100.
You just see me drinking water because I'm thirsty. It's like, hey.
I don't know if you're ready for this tea. I don't know who's listening, but I don't know if they're ready for this tea. So when you're an artist, what I stated before is when you really know your art and know yourself, there's power in your creativity, there's power in what you do. And sometimes it's hard to create because you have to find people that is going to be in alignment with your vision and follow your lead sometimes. And it doesn't always work like that. It doesn't mean that they're not for you on the creative side. It just means sometimes some friends and people who are inspirational are just not a fit for what the vision is. And the
Right.
vision can evolve.
Hmm.
Now, what I did, and I had doubts about myself a lot. What I did at a young age, when I was early, fresh in college, I went to an art school in Tampa, Florida. Before it got closed down, I went to an art school. It was International Academy of Design and Technology.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do is my mother background, she actually is a private, she used to be a private investigator, and she got a degree in criminal justice. So I was always around someone who was infatuated with CSI, with spies, and politics and military and all that stuff, police. So I always started to kind of hone in on certain skills when it came down to networking. Because growing up, I'm always been one to protect my peace. Now,
Right.
this is the reason why I'm saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I decided to be a creative. I was around all types of people in college.
Mm-hmm.
So because some of the girls and the attention I was getting from guys, I actually went and became a dancer in Florida.
Okay.
Nervous and very scared.
Mm-hmm.
But I took it literally that even I had 6 years experience doing theater in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I took it literally getting naked, being naked in front of people and
Mm-hmm.
performing. And because of doing that, it's almost like if you put me in front of a audience to speak and talk,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really nervous because I already done did it and done things like just completely no clothes,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and that wasn't my energy. But the whole thing is I stepped out of my comfort zone to do something
Mm-hmm.
extreme.
Right.
So the little stuff became easy to actually do. It was like my own personal exercise. Let me overcome a fear and
Mm-hmm.
find my confidence. So anytime someone asks me to sing or perform or talk, it just becomes very second nature because I do it naturally. But sometimes your nerves get to you when you are um, in a natural state and your anxiety kicks in. I get over my anxiety. I can break past the point of anxiety from exercising myself being in front of a lot of people.
Right.
Um, Now, to also say this, while in college, I exercised communication and studying the school, being the school that what school was basically structured as a business. So every element of that school was something that I wanted to manifest for myself, not a school, but actual business that provide these services for the purpose of helping businesses.
Right.
I um, I did have some moments of backtracking and having doubts because I still was
Mm-hmm.
young.
Right.
And um, I think when I was 25,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of had my own midlife crisis and broke down, depression, the whole shebang.
Right.
Lost myself because, I did something pretty much extreme. It wasn't in my nature
Mm-hmm.
that I was already around that, even though I have been around things, that was never it for me.
Right.
So I really broke myself down to a point of really having to redefine and like build myself back up. So I did go back to college for business and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it took for my grandmother to pass away for me
Mm-hmm.
to wake up and realize that I had a dream,
Mm-hmm.
I had a goal, and I don't want my absence from my family to be in vain. So I have to get this accomplished and do what
Mm-hmm.
I do. Because at the end of the day, a dream is only a dream when you do not apply action. As long as you apply
Right.
action,
Mm-hmm.
the dream is going to happen. You just have to choose to learn and and adapt and grow as you're trying to achieve certain goals or your one goal. You have to learn along the way. Some people constantly repeat. You can't repeat. You have to
Mm-hmm.
find out what I did wrong and now how can I do this right. So uh, I've honestly, since I've been in Atlanta, I made a choice to pull back from certain moves
Mm-hmm.
because it's like you have to really process what it is that you need to do in order for you to get to that next step. Sometimes you have to really take time out with yourself and like get you organized. So as you're going into things, you're not so mentally pulled in multiple directions.
Right.
You can actually like focus on the goals that need to be obtained without too many distractions. And that's what I've been doing lately, making tiptoe steps so I execute this in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Because my overall vision is creating a platform that allows me to have my own marketing firm.
Okay. That's a fantastic story, actually, because the whole stripping, all that good stuff, because that's called being vulnerable. You know what I mean? Because in life, you know what I mean? Because there's nothing more vulnerable than just being butt naked. You know what I mean? It's like the shame, the all that stuff, because sometimes that's what it takes. And and that's a good story, actually. I was going to say, what was your stage name? Chocolate Thunder?
Oh, no, no, no. They call me Jay Little Booty.
Yeah, Little Booty. There you go. That's a good one. But you see here, that's what life is about, man. You just got to roll with, because this is what defines success to me. Now, to ask you, what will you say the ultimate long-term goal and why it is important to you?
Uh, the long term goal. The long-term goal is to be happy because
Okay.
nothing's promised and guaranteed.
Yep.
So of course we're chasing to find some type of financial comfort and
Mm-hmm.
freedom. But even then, you have people who are rich and successful who are committing suicide, they're on drugs.
Yep.
They have so much money, don't know what to do. So they rather create problems in order to
Mm-hmm.
actually feel like they're living. And I would say that it's just to find some type of you just gotta have moments to enjoy your friends, enjoy your family, enjoy the moments because nothing is promised. Those little moments of laughing, those little
Mm-hmm.
moments of um, camaraderie or whatever it may be, those accomplishments and goals, um, that's long term and short term because again, tomorrow is not promised. So
Right.
I can't really say I'm guaranteed to achieve my goal, but
Mm-hmm.
in my purpose in life,
Right.
I'm living it, which is
Gotcha.
sometimes it's just an example, or you get a chance, you meet a stranger and you give them a little seed that may be the seed that helps somebody else out. And maybe one day your seed along like down the road is the route to someone's life, life path. And they
Right.
become the next president and create
Mm-hmm.
real change.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm really proud of you, because for you to step out of your comfort zone, because sometimes you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's the only way. Like, even when I give when I mentor and give advice, it's like success requires sacrifices. Unless you're willing to do that, you're never going to reach any level of success at all, because you have to give up something to gain something, whether it's time, relationship, friends that are just not on the same page. And it's okay, because to reach success, you cannot hold on to everything and expect, you got to be in line with, basically what gets you to that next level. Now, to ask you, what obstacle or fear will you believe that's kind of holding you back to some degree at this point?
To be real honest, it isn't. There's
Okay.
no fear holding me back. What it is I'm well aware of my circumstances and I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
overcome my circumstances. And I've come a long way from my circumstances that it's still hard out here for someone like myself. So
Okay.
I've been around celebrities, I've been around
Mm-hmm.
rich people, I've been around plenty of entrepreneurs. I've had so many experiences, bad and good, that I'm aware that if I dabble a certain way, is it can lead me to a rabbit hole or lead me to a place that I may not want to be. So I'm moving with caution because of the blessings to have been in certain rooms and certain places the way that I was. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would say that there's people chasing dreams and neglecting the reality that you have to be spiritually equipped to handle the demons that's going to be surrounding you, because
Right.
um everything that looks, the grass ain't always green on the other side. It's not. And have I something about me does gravitate and bring people in. I don't know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but that gift sometimes bring me blessings that tend to be not blessings. And I learned one thing: I'm going in the right direction, but that door isn't your door, and is letting you know you that close to what you're trying to achieve,
Mm-hmm.
but that door isn't. And that's me just
Right.
being open to the spirit, on the spiritual side of myself, knowing that God, like when God is talking, to listen.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, God has been telling me to be patient. God has been telling me to, um, it's just, I think right now I'm learning patience. Um,
Gotcha. No,
a
actually,
lot.
that's good that you
Yeah.
mentioned that. Now, do you what's your timeline? Will you say for that achievement? Because in other words, how will you overcome, or should I say, we talked about the fear, and what is the one limited belief, actually, Q, that you have about yourself, and how can we reframe that, if that makes sense?
So I still jump on that stage, uh, symbolically every day. But if I had to talk about an insecurity,
Mm-hmm.
it would be just not sometimes feeling like I'm good enough.
Okay, and it's okay. That's
Yep.
that's what we're here for. Because, like I said, we always have this fear. We always have something we fear, and one of the number one fear is the fear that we're not good enough. It's like we're not tall enough. We're not beautiful. You know, I mean, there's always something. You know, like we're not good enough for this. We're not. And I'm glad it's coming up, because sometimes it's just a matter of just reframing it. And then, like you were saying, it's the insecurities. Now, one of the best thing you've done, and I've appreciated in everything that you said, is being open to the challenge, not knowing what the challenge is going to be. But I know, hey, I'm going to hit a rough patch. And guess what? That rough patch is because sometimes obstacle are not meant to stop us. It's designed to make us grow. Because without adversity, there's no growth.
Very
It's
true.
like, even when the baby, you've seen a baby come out of the womb, what's the first thing they do? Is cry. They look bruised up.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
honestly, that's just because she a little funky down there.
That's true. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is it's just life. You have to just fight through everything. And then the beauty is, like you were saying, these are challenges you have to overcome. And like I said, I'm proud of you for reframing that, understanding that, hey, I have insecurities, but I have the courage to push through despite some of my fear. Does that make sense? Which is the persistence and determination. Because the one thing I'm gonna advise you, Q, is you on the right path. Meaning, it's not about education. It's not about being a genius. It's not about no. It's about persistence and determination. It's like when life knocks you down, it's how often you get up. And I'm really proud of you for that. And how have you overcome similar challenges in the past? Now that you know what you're dealing with, as far as insecure, or knowing that, hey, you're good enough. That's why you get to this point.
Yeah. Um, Sometimes I have to ask myself that question too. I have a lot of times that I want to give up. But again, after my grandmother passed away, I don't want my life to be in vain and I don't accomplish the things that give me life, even though the things that I love to do is a gift to others, because it's healing for me.
Right.
So I just say something that I've said before. I don't want to live life not have ever lived at all.
Mm-hmm.
I take accountability and choices that I make.
Mm-hmm.
I try to make the best choices for myself because of the quality of life that I want. I
Mm-hmm.
know that not everything is in my control.
Right.
And sometimes it's like you do all you can do. And
Mm-hmm.
once you've done all you can do, then you just let go and let God. And what's
That's
going to
good.
be for you, what's going to be for you is going to be for you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know, again, tomorrow's not promised, so I don't know what's going to be of my life, but I know that I've had many accomplishments,
Mm-hmm.
many moments in my life that has confirmed that, you know, I'm in the right, like on the right path.
That's
It's
good.
just right now is just a moment of like, I guess it's a moment with myself, a moment with God, understanding
Mm-hmm.
patience, and really getting to the root of me as a man, as a creator, as a person, an individual, before those doors that's meant for me will open.
Right. No, definitely. I'm really proud of you. You're doing a good job. And now taking action and accountability, like you just mentioned, like, you taking accountability, taking action. What's the one action step you can take this week to move you towards that goal?
Uh, Considering my peace and my happiness,
Mm-hmm.
like it's okay to love, your friends and family. Um, but in taking accountability is not putting blame on them for how they may negatively make you feel when it's not intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And taking some accountability on yourself, just taking your power and knowing that at the end of the day, uh, you are in control. It's
Right.
like if I a recent situation, recent
Mm-hmm.
situation, family member, I allowed them to make me feel some type of way.
Mm-hmm.
But in taking accountability of what I neglected to do for myself in the midst
Mm-hmm.
of associating with them,
Mm-hmm.
um, they don't have all the power. So it's like,
Right.
yes, it affected me, but
Mm-hmm.
now me taking accountability allows me to be in control of me versus being stuck angry. Because we have
Mm-hmm.
emotions we feel, but you have to you taking accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And excuse me for ranting. Um, you
No,
taking
you're making good
accountability.
points.
Yeah, you taking accountability of yourself
Mm-hmm.
gives you power. So anything outside of yourself that's happening or however someone may be responding to you, um, they're not the ones in control. You're in control of you. So
Absolutely.
it's like I'm angry, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what could I have done or what mentally think could I, thinking wise, could I do to not give them as much power so I'm not angry and I'm like, okay, well, I should have done this. Now the power is
Mm-hmm.
back in it's back in my hands. Like it's my power now. Because
Right.
if I did this, knowing this is this and this, then
Right. And no, that's awesome. And that's what I always say. Hey, sometimes we're the problem, and guess what? We're the solution as well.
yeah.
Because nobody can change your circumstances but yourself. Because we always find that outside force. It's like your circumstances, your parents, your partner, your this. Oh, you can always find something. And I'm really proud of you for actually acknowledging that. And that's what I'm here to help you as well. So if you have to commit to one small change today, what will it be?
Um, Jokingly, but seriously, I might need to pull back on eating brisket from Arby's.
There you go. That's a good one. Because what you put in your body affects your mind as well. Because sometimes,
Oh
we,
no, I have healthy choices now. I just
I
think
know,
I
I'm
just
just
eat too
saying
much.
exactly that part, that one thing. That's why I say sometimes, like they say, how do you eat an elephant? It's a one bite at a time. That's why
Uh-huh.
you telling me that that one small step you're gonna take today will make that difference. Now, how can I help hold you accountable to that process? Like, what can I do to help you get to that level and that commitment?
I mean, that's a good question. That's a good question.
And like I say, it's not a trick question. It's just because sometimes you don't see certain things, but I see certain things that you don't see because just us talking, we're on the same level as far as striving for to become a better version of ourselves. And that's what my mentoring and like success story and history helps me guide you
Well,
towards that. If that makes
well,
sense.
what I would say, because I'm big on, I actually was on my art shows in Atlanta before
Mm-hmm.
COVID, was to
Mm-hmm.
create a mentorship program
Mm-hmm.
that also was to educate young men financially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so using the art shows as a way of, education, financial education.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would say that in it, what I
Mm-hmm.
think that's missing within a community, because we have a lot of broken homes,
Mm-hmm.
is building real brotherhood type environments where people can, us men can communicate, and big brother can, you know, shine a light, like you said. You see
Mm-hmm.
something,
Mm-hmm.
point it out to a person that's open and wants to receive it,
Right.
point it out, um, and just get them a heads up, like, hey, don't step on that crack.
Mm-hmm.
It's weak over there. Don't no, don't do
Yeah.
that. But it takes for the person making a choice that they actually want to change and they're open to receiving information, wisdom
Mm-hmm.
from another person without
Right.
there being pride or any animosity or any weird energy. So um, it's just about building quality relationships
Mm-hmm.
where a person like myself could is being receptive to receive the information, knowing
Right.
that okay, this is going to better my life.
That's
Um,
awesome. Well, that's
so,
fantastic. You just nailed it
yeah.
right. You hit it right on the head. Now, how do you handle stress? And what can you do to improve that resilience of yours that
That's
you
a good question as well too. Um, so handling stress. So I've been dealing with I've done had counseling since I was a kid,
Mhm,
therapy since I was a young adult,
mhm,
and I think that when I started getting into meditation, Reiki, and Buddhism, I you know when I get really stressed out, I uh, I control my breathing.
gotcha.
Um, Mentally
Mhm,
is a different story, but for the most part, it's like I I get really
right,
stressed out, like very bad.
right. And
But
it's normal, by the way. It's.
it doesn't show. It shows on my face, but it doesn't show the level in my body or my face or actions
Mhm,
because I control my breathing. So I can crack a joke. I
right.
can be natural. I
Mhm,
have a natural resting bitch face.
gotcha.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
that
awesome. That's awesome. Because that takes, you got to develop that. You know what I mean?
What, the resting bitch face?
Well, not that part, but I'm saying for you to get to that point, say, hey, I can control my breathing.
Yeah.
I can, I know I'm stressed, but it's like, like when you see like the duck on the water, right? Gliding, right?
Yeah.
You see the duck gliding and then everything's looking beautiful, right? The duck is sliding and all that. But underneath you see the leg going like this, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
but nobody sees the outside. They just see it gliding. So like you say, that meditation, all that stuff, that breathing, that's helping you. That's awesome. That because sometimes you got to find something to help you throughout. And I'll also recommend. I don't know if you do any type of journaling, Q, but
Um,
that will
I
help too. Like put
yeah.
your emotions down when it comes in. Just write it raw. You know what I mean? And then go back and look at it because sometimes it just helps you put it in a different perspective. Now, what's the one mindset shift that will change
So
everything for you if you
can you
could?
repeat one thing? Repeat that again.
Now, I was saying, what's the one mindset shift, like, just like a shifted mindset that will change everything for you to some degree?
Um, I think I need to really see myself. It's like I know myself. I a seen glimpse of
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I'm a powerful individual,
Right.
but um, there's a part of me that is still not there yet. Like I don't
Right.
know, but I want to see myself because I have a friend of mine who's actually a in the political world,
Mm-hmm.
and he deals with a lot of people within the industry, politically and entertainment. And he has said to me, you know, you're powerful, like you're talented, like you are that guy. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and again, I seen a glimpse, but when I don't see that, um, it's almost like I'm kind of like small. Like it's like I naturally sometimes make myself small, not for the comfort for others, but just because it's been a comfort that I'm not seeking attention.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget who I am in some
Right. And it's
um
normal, by the way, to get lose yourself. That's why I said that's what I'm here for, to help you through that guidance and all that. And how will achieving your goal impact your life and those around you, Q, if you could say?
it allowed me to help out my family.
Okay.
Um I don't even I do the things that I do because it brings me happiness. That is enough
Gotcha.
for me. Anything else is basically given away if I have it to give, because the only thing that I require in life is um, me and my happiness, my friends and family happy, and that's it. I was never raised on a material level, so
Mm-hmm.
material things don't really move me. Nice cars don't move me. Um, it's all about just having a quality life, and if my quality of life allow me to have quality time with friends and family, then that's enough for me. That's food for me.
Right. No, that's awesome, because that's that fulfillment part. Like you said, success itself is not everything, but you gotta have fulfillment. You know what I mean? When you want to feel fulfilled, like you talk about people with money still committing suicide, right? It's not about all that. So I'm proud of you for acknowledging that. And what would you say, Q, your biggest takeaway from today's session based on our conversation today?
Sometimes it's good to have this conversation. Sometimes it's good for us to take a moment and sit out and really be heard.
Right.
Like some questions are not answered or we ask ourselves, but sometimes it's good to have someone, you know, outside of yourself ask the questions that you're asking, so we could take a moment and think things. Hear somebody else ask the question, because now I gotta listen to my response. I have to actually process what you asking me and think about it.
Yep.
So you're
Yep.
stimulating something that needs to be exercised a lot, that a lot of us are probably not doing. As far as
That's
brothers, fathers, it's something that we should exercise. It's lacking.
absolutely. And I'm really proud of you for that. And what would you say the one action step, Q, you fully committed to taking before our next session based on all the conversation we had today?
Um, Maybe just taking a moment to speak life into yourself.
Okay. That's good. That's a good point. And from the scale 1 to 10, like one being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how confident do you feel about reaching your goals?
To be honest, I am not focused on that because that applies pressure to you.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing that I am focused on far as the goal outside of my career
Mm-hmm.
is just being happy.
Absolutely. And that's the point I was trying to make too. That's the whole point I was trying to make too, and you get the point. It's everything revolves about around happiness. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing we're striving for. Now, what's the one thing you can do today to have that happiness success,
Um,
if you will?
Taking time out for yourself and your mental health, just taking a moment and taking the time out for yourself. I mean,
Right. Because
you
based on our conversation, all you talk about is things you're doing in the future. That's why I'm trying to bring it back to in the present moment. Like, like the one thing you can do today to just help you make a difference towards that journey. Because, like you say, tomorrow is no promise to nobody. All you have is today, the present. So, what's the one thing you can do today to feel that step towards that happiness success? And even add on top of it, how can I support you in moving forward?
um to be real honest, what you're doing now is very supportive.
Okay.
That's supportive. Um when I say taking time out for today, see what happens is in this world, we have seasons. And some people don't realize the seasons that they signify something. They mean something. And when things are chaotic within yourself and things are not going as smoothly, and you're in a process, you're in a moment of learning to be patient, and you're choosing to be patient or at least trying, um, God, He's telling you to take a break. He's trying to give you a break in some shape or form, which means you do have to figure out, how do I still be proactive, but take a break? Because if you keep on, run, like, just keep on that wheel, you'll forever be on that wheel. And it's just going to be a crazy moment of, it's going to come to a complete crash. And you're not going to get to that next destination because you're just in that circle, just going around, 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 because you didn't take time out to process and execute what's next. You missed the door. God put you in a position, He got you to a plateau. Now there's a door that's waiting for you, and you won't receive it because you won't be vulnerable and allow it to happen as it should. Sometimes you just have to stop, and you have to work on you mentally, physically, and spiritually in preparation for the next step. Because when it happens, it's going to happen. I had moments where I've taken breaks from doing certain things, and then out of nowhere, I'm getting contracts for creating videos and stuff for people for social media. And it's like, I was doing that just for myself at one point, and now
Right.
someone's seeing my creativity and seeing what I can do. That now people are paying me to do it. Um,
Right.
now that was a moment. I'm not even doing that no more. Took a break from social media. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not on as much like I used to be, for the purpose of, you need, like, your body's telling you it's time to take that break so you can get to the next level.
Right. No, that's a good point. Actually, you keep mentioning about rest. Now, my question is, Q, based on everything that you mentioned, I will say, when do you feel like you need to take a rest, and when do you feel like you need to get on a wheel and keep going?
It's a faith thing. It's like it's you don't know, but you know when it's time because it just happens. It's a faith thing. Some people think procrastination is what I'm talking about, and if they do, that's not what I'm talking about. It's going to naturally happen, and you just have to be, I guess, understanding what's going on as you're going through the process. I'm still out here grinding, but right now I'm in
Right.
a place of waiting on God because there's doors that's coming for you. I didn't realize that this was going to be my one of the things that I was going to be doing today, but this is probably something that I needed. So the question is, do you acknowledge the fact that right now spiritually something's going on and you was probably meant to talk to me today? And I'm
Absolutely.
yeah, and I'm open to receiving what I'm going to get out of this experience from my older brother, you, my brother, delivering me insight and being someone who can ask questions and listen to me. Because in this, we're both probably healing or being able to look at things. And that's one thing that I think that is really good about this is
Right. No,
we don't.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
100% agree with you. At the same time, Q, I just don't. I want to tell you the story about the man on top of the roof. You heard about that story?
no,
When the whole town flooded and he climbed on top of the roof and said, "Hey, I'm waiting for God to save me." The ambulance came, the firefighter came. He's like, "Man, we're here to save you." He's like, "No, no, I'm waiting on God." And then they send the helicopter. He's on top of the roof. Nobody can. They send the helicopter, right? It's like, "Man, hey, we're here to save you." He's like, "No, I'm waiting on God to save me." And guess what? He's like, "Okay, then hey, wait on God." He ended up drowning and died. So he went back to God, you know what I mean? His spirit went to God. He's like, "God, I've been waiting for you to save me." God is like, "Wait a minute. Did you see I send the firefighter, I send the helicopter, I send all of those to save you." You see my point? My point
that's
to you is my point, it's okay to wait for God to show you the sign. It's okay to wait for the perfect opportunity to drop on your lap. It's
no.
okay to do. No, no, I'm just saying in
Yeah,
general. It's not you in general. I'm just saying people in general. So that's why I say you're doing a good job by acknowledging that. But at the same time, I'm here to help you take action and implement certain action in place to help you get to that level. Like you said, God sent me for a reason, right?
yeah.
And let's implement that. That's why I was asking you, what's the one thing you're going to implement today? And I'm going to repeat that question again. You, so you know exactly what I'm. What's the one thing you can do today to help you take that step towards that success today?
Just believing in myself down worth everything that I'm trying to achieve. Just
Okay.
I like I'm sorry that I sound very like general. It's just the question itself is like I'm already applying action, and the action that I first applied was moving away.
Mm-hmm.
I moved away, stepped out of my comfort zone to achieve a goal. And I've been working on this for years. I've been like when I was in middle school performing, when I was in high school performing, when I was in
Mm-hmm.
college performing. Now I'm an adult still. I have my moments where I'm performing, I'm working. So my resume, I have commercials, I have TV shows, I have music videos, I have fashion shows, I have, different things that I have accomplished over the time. But in the midst of those accomplishments, I took time out to analyze my time and my worth and just do I want to keep on at this for what's the end goal? If I keep
Well,
on doing
actually,
stuff,
let me ask you a question. You just mentioned you've analyzed. What conclusion you came up with once you did this whole analysis based on that whole resume you just ran by me?
what I realized is I need to just focus on what I really want out of life and don't stretch myself too thin.
Mm-hmm.
because I understand my brand and who I am as a person.
Hmm.
I'm able to adapt in the midst of doing things that is in alignment with what I want for me.
Right. No, that's awesome. And this is, I'm going to give you, there's some, I'm going to give you, going to give you a homework cue. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm going to help you as far as the mentoring. And what I will need you to do is once you get home today, before you go to sleep, when you're alone with your own thoughts, I want you to pull out a piece of paper or something you can write. And I want you to write down 5 goals, 5 things that you want to accomplish within the next 6 months. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And because I'm going to start to help you take action towards your goals because you have great aspiration, you have great like intentions, but I'm going to help you put the tire where the tire meets the road. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And I'm going to help you implement that. So that's your homework. 5 things based on your goals you want to accomplish the next 6 months. Not a year, not 5 years, just the next 6 months. And then we're going to work on that. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
And then we're going to have a plan of action towards those goals. Because remember, like what even Martin Luther King said, how you get on top of the mountain, you take one step at a time. But sometimes we're so distracted, Q, to look at the top of the mountain. It's like, man, I got to climb way over there, right? And it kind of distracted. That's why I say those 5 things just started tonight. 5 things you want to accomplish the next 6 months. And then you and I are going to get together and come up with a game plan to execute it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm down.
All right. You have any question for me or anything that you want to add?
Yeah. So,
Or anything that you want to ask me or advice or whatever the case? It's open.
what motivates you to provide this service?
I'm glad you said that. This is my one motivation. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The one motivation is I've always been successful in any endeavor I've get myself into, but I never understood why am I so successful? And I realized the reason why I was because I was just implementing certain basic fundamentals of success because success doesn't care about feelings. It's about a process and concept that you apply. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Success leaves clues, Q, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to wait on things to happen. It's already been invented. I'm going to help you use the wheel that's been invented and apply it to achieve the success that you need. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because, like they say, success leaves clues. So, if you want to be successful in something, find somebody who's done it, and then listen to the advice and implement the action. Because the number one thing I've realized, Q, is about one of the aspects to success is discipline. To have a good discipline, and it comes with reinforcement because discipline is doing what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's why I was telling you, success isn't about feelings. It's about concept and things you apply. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do things you should do, whether you feel like it or not, but it puts you towards success. Versus the other person is doesn't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Oh, the sun didn't come out today. God didn't talk to me. You know what I mean? I'm going to help you implement that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So that's the first step. And then we're going to move towards achieving those goals for you. And that's what inspired me to do it because I want to help people apply the success strategy to become successful. Does that make sense? It's like when you go to the gym, you have like a, you know, a trainer to give you advice. Say, hey, you want your work on your bicep, your tricep? These are the exercise you do. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You follow it, stimulate it. Same thing with success, and same thing with the mind. I'm going to help you also with a paradigm shift because I've noticed. And what's a paradigm? A paradigm is just a series of habits that we have throughout our whole life that's dictating everything that we do, without even us knowing that we're doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then we're going to help you shift that. And that's why I say I'll help you towards that. And that's that number one goal is to have those 5 things you want to accomplish in the next 6 months. And I'm going to help you because that's what motivates me to do what I do is to help people like you get to the next level. Because sometimes you hit a plateau, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how do I get to the next level? That's why God sent me so we can take action, get you to the next level. Make sense?
Makes sense.
There you go. All right. So thanks for your time, Q. So it's been really a very great conversation. And how do you feel about everything we just went over?
I enjoyed the conversation for sure, and I look forward to working with you.
Absolutely. And it's my pleasure. Again, this is Justin with Golden Touch Motivational, and I'm looking forward to us talking. And then it's going to be a fantastic session next time we're going to talk. And I'm here to help you to the next level. And anything you need, any question you have, I'm here for you. All right, guys. So stay tuned for the next one. And then we're going to talk about how we can take you and take him to the next level. All right. So I'll see you guys next on the next podcast. Have a good one.